March 1943, Museum of Modern Art, New York City. A group of musicians, in formal concert attire, waits expectantly for the conductor's downbeat. The conductor is a tall, smiling, 30-year-old Californian. As his baton descends, the musicians start to play their instruments, which are entirely percussive. Thunder sheets, temple gongs, oxen bells, cymbals, anvils, orchestral bells, and automobile brake drums. August 1952, Maverick Concert Hall, Woodstock, New York. A pianist walks onto the stage, sits down at the piano, and closes the keyboard cover. 30 seconds later, he opens the cover. He repeats this sequence of actions twice. All that changes is the length of time, 2 minutes, 23 seconds, then 1 minute, 40 seconds, between closing and opening the lid. After the final opening of the lid, he stands and takes his bow. March 1968, Ryerson Polytechnical Institute, Toronto. 2 men sit in easy chairs. Between them is a table, on which are placed glasses of wine and a chessboard. The game commences. As each player moves his pieces, the initial silence is progressively intruded upon, until, at the game's midpoint, the room is filled with amplified noises. As pieces are taken and the confrontation moves toward its conclusion, the sound levels gradually diminish. It is events like those described above, performances of The First Construction in Metal, 1939, 4 minutes 33 seconds, 1952, and Reunion, 1968, respectively, that have defined public awareness of the work of John Cage, 1912 to 92, and to a considerable extent contributed to the misunderstanding and, in some cases, derision that have accompanied it. Rather than being celebrated as an artistic polymath whose questioning of the fundamental tenets of Western art music led to a revolution in 20th century culture, Cage has often been characterized as, at best, a comedian, and at worst, a charlatan. Unable or unwilling to allow Cage and his work a fair hearing, or even to speak for themselves, musicians and commentators alike have frequently subverted his performances and misrepresented his ideas. To cite but 2 examples of such actions, in 1964, members of the New York Philharmonic Orchestra laughed, talked among themselves, played inappropriate material, and destroyed electronic equipment during performances of Atlas Eclipticalis, 1962. And as recently as 1998, the philosopher Stan Gotlovich compares Cage's silent piece, 4 minutes 33 seconds, to a non-existent donut, served in an empty folded napkin with fresh coffee. Yet Cage has had a profound and essentially positive influence on contemporary culture. His pioneering work with percussion, with the prepared piano, and with electronics was pivotal in opening music to new timbral possibilities. His advocacy of chance, indeterminacy, and alternative notational practices contributed significantly to what one of his teachers, Henry Cowell, 1897 to 1965, characterized as getting rid of the glue. And his use of extant musics, usually in decontextualized form, preempted one of the principal preoccupations of postmodernism.